Hello everybody, I'm just doing a quick off-the-cuff video about Beat Repeat. One of the really cool ways to use Beat Repeat is to just kind of spice up a simple beat. So I'm going to turn off my Beat Repeat for a moment just so you can hear this little beat I programmed. It's just a simple 2-bar drum and bass beat. You know, it's got a little spice to it, but not too much. I could have even done a little less for this video, but I had a little fun with it. It only took me about 30 seconds to program it. And then when I turn on Beat Repeat, I have it set up so that it will just repeat the second bar, the second beat of the measure. And then what I can do is I can turn down the chance, and I have an instant, kind of interesting beat. So every once in a while, the beat repeat will engage and do an eighth note on the second beat. So let me show you how I set this up. First thing I'm gonna need to do is go into my user library defaults, and I'm gonna have to delete this preset because I set this up as a default preset, and I'll go over that again too in a second. So let's go to audio effects, and let me just look at beat repeat, and I'll just delete it. And now when I go back to the audio effects and I bring in a new beat repeat, it'll be the factory default, which is set up a little bit different than mine. So let's just go ahead and disengage mine, and we'll set this up very similar. So the first thing I'm going to do is say no triplet. And what that does is if there's a value that's a triplet value, say a third note, 1/3, 1/6, 1/12, notes like that, they're triplet values, and this will force everything into the previous regular note, non-triplet value. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to set my grid. The grid is basically the repeat. So let's fire this off so you can hear the grid. So it's a 16th note grid. It's a little bit fast. I'm just going to bump it down to 8th note. And you also notice how you can hear the beat and the repeat of the beat. And just by the way, I'm pushing the repeat button to automatically engage the repeat, which is kind of ignoring the offset and the interval and all that. It's basically paying attention to grid, but nothing else. So I can actually change the grid while the repeat's on to do some neat things. But the reason we can hear the beat is because of this area. Mix, ins, and gate. So mix, you'll hear the repeat and you'll hear the source signal, the original beat. If I put it on ins, when it's repeating, we will only hear the repeat, and when it's not repeating, we'll hear the source. Turn down a little bit. And then gate, you'll only hear the repeat. Nothing. And then repeat. Basically, for this setup, we're going to go ahead and set it to ins so we only hear the repeat. And then now I'm going to set up some of the other parameters for the automatic beat repeat instead of having to trigger it. So the interval is basically the length of time that the repeat will be working under. So if I put this on a 2-bar interval, let's put on 2-bar, it will only repeat at the beginning of the first bar. But I'm going to leave it on 1 bar for the setup exactly the way I had it before. And you can actually go up to 4 bars if you want. But let's leave it on 1 bar for now. The next thing I want to do is set the offset. And that means I'm going to put it on the beat that I want the repeat to happen. In this case, I'm going to happen on the snare, which is on the second beat. Unfortunately, it's counting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 rather than 1, 2, 3, 4. So just add 1 to everything. So beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. Yeah, you get the idea. Now let's pull it back with the gate. So where the yellow is controlled by the gate, and that's how long the repeat will happen. So I'm going to crank it up just so you can hear what it sounds like. So if I pull back the gate, and I only have it repeat for a quarter note. And if I move the offset around, it'll repeat in different spots, like on the third beat. So basically the way I have it set up is I have the repeat starting on the snare drum, second beat, at a quarter note interval and an eighth note repeat. I actually want to change one thing about my preset. Earlier I had saved it with the chance all the way up. I'm actually going to pull the chance down. With chance all the way up, the repeat will always happen at the set parameters. But if I pull the chance back, there's a chance that it won't happen. So right about 50%, 50% of the time it'll happen, 50% of the time it won't happen. Which for the purposes of the way I want to use the beat repeat, and for a lot of quick times that I do want to use it, I just want to program a quick beat, throw in the beat repeat so I don't get bored of the beat, and then I can program bass lines or play bass lines or synths or leads or do other things. So now I'm going to go ahead and right click on it and save as default preset. Now the next time I grab in a beat repeat, it'll be set up exactly the way I saved the default. It's really handy, saves a lot of time. Now let's go ahead and go back to my original one. So some of the other parameters we can play with, I'm going to actually increase the gate a little bit and turn up the chance so we can hear it every time. Now let's play with the decay. What the decay is going to do is make it kind of decay down like a little snare roll. Which is especially handy if I speed up the interval. And another handy thing, let's turn up the variation. The variation will randomly play actually different intervals, like different grid intervals, to create a little more interest. So here it's just playing a little different repeats. So it's like a quarter note repeat, an eighth note repeat, a shorter 16th note repeat, and stuff like that. So the variation actually will add a little more random to your beat. Another fun one to play with is your pitch decay. Let's turn off the volume decay a little bit. Let's bring it back. And let's take down the variation just so we can have one element we're working on. Now I'm going to bring up the pitch decay. And then you can also re-pitch the beat in itself, just straight up. Combined. I might as well just talk about the one last thing is the filter. The filter is actually applied to the repeat. So now let's combine everything together. Let's turn on the chance. Let's add a bunch of variations. Let's just do pitch decay, volume decay, and some filter. So it can be a lot of fun and kind of just play around with it until you get something you like. And don't forget, you can always engage the beat repeat whenever you want. The beat repeat is a really, really powerful tool. To do one last thing before I close the video down, I'm going to insert an audio track, and then we're going to record from resampling, which will record everything out the master bus. I'll go ahead and arm record. Let's go ahead and duplicate my beat repeat a few times and change a few of the settings around. I'll change the offsets, gates, and the intervals. Let's get this one a little bit different. Maybe less of a chance. And let's change offset. Let's not do that. And I will move you right there. Take off the decay, take out the variation, offset down just a little further. Let's try that. Now let's a bunch of randomness going on. I'm just going to record the output. Then maybe even just go in and engage the beat repeat. Cool. Now everything that happened was recorded. Let's go ahead and turn off the original beat. Turn on the new beat. And then if something cool came out of that, you could go and chop it up or do whatever you want with it. You have actually captured that. But thank you for watching. I will do more videos like this and post them on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube. And if you're interested in online one-on-one lessons I teach online, go ahead and hit me up. My website is austinabletontutor.com. Thanks, guys.